Whoop, 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 live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another XER, the Xpound Entertainment Radio, looking at, various things from gaming, TV, and movies that we did over the last week, and bits of news. So, joining me as per usual is Anastasia Laserbeam
Hello.
and Chris A.K. the Mole.
And a good evening to you.
And I am your host for this one, Richter Hammer. And as we usually do, we will go through up to 2 bits of news first, round robin style, then our catch-up section, round robin style, and then our topic, which is first-person shooters based on stuff that we might like to see.
And that is round robin style. Right?
Yes, thank you, that you are right, that is.
I just feel like it need to be added since we're listing things that are round robin.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. All right, so with your first bit of news, take it away, Pew.
Alright. Okay, PlayStation Store for Halloween. We're getting lots of cool spooky games. Ooh. The prices, they're terrifyingly amazing.
Wait. A horror sale on PSN or Xbox Live during Halloween? No. Surely they haven't decided to finally get on that train.
They have.
No, you're shitting me.
They have. Like Devil May Cry because it has the word devil in it. It's so terrible. It'll make you scream and have nightmares forever.
I would make the case Devil May Cry shouldn't. DMC should.
That's the one. But yeah. Alright, so basically they got a nice Alien Isolation bundle pack deal there. They got the Grim Fandango Cross Spy Remastered on 20% off. That's cool. You got the Outlast and Outlast bundle, which isn't that bad at all. All your Castlevanias.
Yay.
Whoa, all the Castlevanias, right?
But there's like 4, so.
That's exactly how many there's been.
That's a lie. There's 3 different. The one underneath it was Catherine. I don't know why the word Catherine looked like castle for a second.
Well, to be fair, Catherine is a Castlevania spin-off.
Okay.
And to be fair, there is a lot of horror trying to play those fucking block puzzles.
And you like Persona 4, like that's on sale if you don't already own it.
Mm-hmm. And yep, like we said before with Catherine, story was fucking awesome. The blocks where it's like cube, it was no.
And all these PSP games, which like they say Persona 1, 2, and 3, but they have the word Shin Megami Tensei, in there.
Ah, I see what they're doing there. They're selling Sony handheld games because their console's dead, therefore it's a ghost. Woo.
I'm guessing it's a sequel, but it has a different title than the other one, so maybe? I don't know. Or at least, like, in the not parentheses, in the colon, they're the same.
You should read the actual news. There was like a bomb explosion in like some city and some people may have died, but on other news, this cat had a hat on.
It makes it all better.
The nightly pews.
Yes.
Oh, you have the blues? I'll give you the pews. So yeah, pretty much.
Is CNN.
Yeah, so pretty much all, like, any game that could be possibly tied to anything creepy is pretty much on sale. Oh, and Resident Evil 2 and 3.
But not until dawn, probably because it's too recent.
Oh, and for some reason, Oregon Trail. I don't know why that's
Trail.
also...
It's Oregon Trail.
Sorry.
It's the
Oregon
zombie...
Trail.
Yeah, it's like the zombie version
That's
of
why.
it or something.
I was like, Oregon Trail? That's so fucking weird. Why is that, like, on there? It's not horrifying other than time-consuming.
It's a one-letter difference, but so many people do that. The first, 50 times I saw the title of that game, I always think, I'm like, Oregon Trail? That doesn't look like... Oh, Oregon.
Yeah.
Are we also just gonna let it go? But you said, and all the games that tie into spooky stuff. Oh, and Resident Evil, as if that's not a horror game.
Oh no, that wasn't related. That was a game that I thought was worth mentioning that I'd missed mentioning before. That's how that worked out in my brain.
We here at the Xpound do not condone accusing Pew of having a brain. Thank you.
But yeah, so a bunch of cool shit. Buy it if you want.
Nice.
All right. So with your first bit of news, take it away, Mole.
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice may actually take the record for the most expensive movie ever made. Latino reviewer, well, I'm echoing through someone. I'm assuming Pew?
But I have my headset on, that doesn't make sense.
But it says Latin reviewer reports that the film's budget has ballooned to $410 million. That already matches the current record holder of Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tide. So if the budget goes up any more at all, it's officially got the record. That will make Dawn of Justice almost as expensive alone as both parts of Justice League movies that are planned, which are planned to share a budget of $500 million between them, according to LR. Even so, it may not hold the record for long. Rumor has it that Marvel's Infinity movies will cost $1 billion, with $400 million going just to the actors alone.
Wow.
Yeah, that kind of makes me sad. It's like, whoa, it's like twice the budget. Oh, the other half's just for actors. Sad face.
I just like the comment of like, if it goes any higher. I picture this guy like, I really want a sandwich, and the guy's like, yes, record breaker. And the guy's like, huh? Like he doesn't even know about it. It's like, I think we need to replace this doorknob, and the guy's like, record, and just runs off with a cloud trail behind him.
Yep.
Like a cartoon.
Yep. As the budget increases, it becomes even more important to these blockbusters to smash hits internationally. Marvel's had a few of its movie hits the $1 billion mark, most recently in the case of Age of Ultron. Don't know why that was added to this little article, but still. That has like no bearing on the amount of money they spend, but still, if they spend a lot of money on this and it's not all going to the actors and stuff, that could be an amazing film. It proves that they're actually not just, oh, they're just doing a cash-in like people assumed. It sounds like with how much money they're putting into it, they're actually genuinely trying to make a good film. So, yeah, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Okay.
All
right. So for my first bit of news, a couple days ago, on Steam for Payday 2, they added basically microtransactions. They had these like lock boxes you could get, but you had to basically pay real world money to get drills to open them, to get like an item from it. And that apparently pissed a lot of people off that played it on Steam, because the developer had gone on record several times saying that they would like never do microtransactions and stuff like that. And it's like, but aren't these microtransactions? What the hell? And then they spent the first few days not responding, and then eventually they were like, oh yeah, we've heard complaints about it. And it was like one of those like non-answers. And then today, or maybe it was yesterday, I don't know, but they added, they're like, oh, now at the end of missions, there's a chance you could get a drill now. And it's like, oh, is that, yeah, like, so some people are like, well, you know, it's at least they're making a step to fix it, and some people are like, they're still there, though. This is fucking stupid, and we were lied to, and I don't know. I can understand their point. For, you know, it feels like, oh yeah, we're never gonna add microtransactions, like good, and then like 2 years later they're like, oh yeah, we're adding them. People are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, and like several times it was brought up like, oh, if this was a free to play title, that'd be par for the course, but like you pay to buy this, and it's just weird that they would add it so much later when it's the most people that are playing it are probably their fans, so it feels like they're trying to milk their actual fans and not like new people playing it and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, I could see that.
I could see that. It could also be the reason of because they just brought out the Xbox One, the PS4 and stuff, so it could be, you know, to pay for all the remastering and stuff. But even still, yeah, if you say we're not going to add microtransactions, don't add microtransactions.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, the thing that though made me like somewhat facepalm was they're like, if this was just cosmetic stuff, we might let it go. But this stuff actually, has bearing on the game. It affects the stats of the weapon. And they're like, this isn't pay to win. I'm like, there's no fucking versus mode in that. It's not pay to win. Not like not a setting where it would, not benefit you. So like if one guy gets, a higher, like let's say one guy has the skin on and it's like, oh, he's slightly better. Good, then that's a better chance that all of you will win. So I don't see why you'd complain about that. But
as it's play of the environment, technically, isn't pay for win purchasing the game?
But then they're like, here's an example, and I saw these two pictures that they showed of the weapon, and then with the skin on, and it upped the stability by like 4. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it was at 40, now it's 4 more, so I guess that's 10%. But like that's all it did, and I was like, fucking, yeah, like have a better example where like that's such a minor thing. It'd be like, oh, the damage of this one's 80, now it's 82. Just be like, oh, whoop-de-doo. Like that didn't seem like a huge jump that it'd even be worth buying. But
to be fair, 10% increase on stability of weapons could be the difference between, no, I just missed that Titan or hazmat guy and I finally took him out on my own, yay, I've saved the team. Or I'm lying and this is bullshit.
I'm pretty sure it's the difference between like, man, that guy absorbed 39 shots, or man, he absorbed 40 shots and then killed me. Either one. Man, I shot that guy 40 times. I shot him 41 because I had the extra stability. He still killed us both. Well, yeah, I didn't say he didn't, but... So yeah, I get what the people... why the fans are angry, and I agree with them for the most part. It just, like, I wish if there was a better example of what the skins, like, if it upped more stats or higher, then I'd be like, oh, okay, but I kind of look at it and I'm like, like, I could see your point, but it's kind of like the result of, like, really, you going to complain about this? Just be like, this is stupid, and then just don't buy them. Like, that's a really minor increase.
Yeah, and I also like the case, like you said, it's so minor, and when they're saying, well, if it was cosmetic, they're literally skins. That is kind of cosmetic.
Yeah.
With the small difference, I mean, the fact you're against the environment anyway. Was anyone like, oh my god, I'm so crippled on this first heist by my lack of an extra 10% stability? Damn you, microtransactions!
Yeah, it's like I agree with the principle, just not. So like I agree with them saying like, hey, you said you lied to us, you said you weren't going to do this, and then you did it, but
yep.
I feel like they should have stopped there and not.
Yeah, yeah, I always hate that when developers lie to you. It's like one of the things I've mentioned in the past with why I got annoyed with DCU.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
When they first came out, they promised us no crafting, and look what happened once they're free to play. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. See, like, that one, I think, I mean, I could be way off base with that. That one I could almost see more pliable, though, or plausible, because, there's someone above them. Like, because Sony owns it, so I could see that, some higher up there was like, you know what, we need this, but, like, Overkill, the ones that make Payday, they're a smaller studio. I don't really know if they'd have anyone above them that could decree that kind of thing,
I'm pretty sure maybe Activision might for the Walking Dead game they're working on.
Yeah, but I don't think that
add stuff to your old ones to make money. Why? You can make our Walking Dead games cheaper. Duh. And then as Steam watches it implode, he just strokes his cat with yes.
Now, I'm not excusing the DCO one. Don't think
no,
that. But like,
I am aware.
Yeah, like I can see that might be a little somewhat out of their hands. But the Overkill one, you're just like, I don't know.
I can see that. And I will also say I was not implying it at all. Activision was trying to gearbox this.
That'd be hilarious. They're just like, the last time we made a Walking Dead game, they all made fun of it. We need to get them to make fun of someone else. I know what.
Oh my god, that's it. Payday is now purchased by Warner Brothers. Quick, we need something to defuse the Arkham PC port. I know. What better to defeat a Hitler than a different Hitler?
What's sad is like that seems almost plausible. Like it sounds really stupid if you like had multiple studios to use one to like sacrifice one to save another. But I could actually see that there's somebody there that would think that is a viable strategy, and that makes me sad.
I don't know. What do you think, Pew? You've been oddly quiet.
I do not.
She bought all the drills.
She bought all the drills.
The drilling shall continue until penetration is complete.
Yeah. I also love the
Like
fact
Jim.
that I love the fact they also said now the microtransactions won't be coming over to the consoles for a very long time.
I won't be getting
Yay,
those.
console master race.
I already
Yeah.
got my own game, so I already have everything I need. You won't be seeing me buying extra shit.
Yeah,
Not-
they already added like
Yeah.
they already had a lot of DLC for that game where I was just like, yeah, no. It's like, look, you can get this weapon, and I'm like, okay.
Oh god, yeah, that's a point on my PS4 one when I end up getting the PS4 one, which I'm hoping to be at the end of the week or so.
Nice.
They better have my Kratos mask. Not Kratos, Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, I was like, I knew it was one of the
Should,
PlayStation games. I better have my Sweet Tooth mask still on the game. I like that.
It's now been replaced with a Daxter mask, just so
No.
Jim will buy it.
No, it's the PS4, so it's like, what's big now? No, it'll be a Nathan Drake mask. And then someone will be like, but isn't that just looking like you're human? Yes, but now they won't know it's me.
No, they'll have a Payday 1 mask. And people are like, wait, what? And they'll be like, yeah, it's slightly lower res. Yeah, and then they'll fist bump each other. And then the person will be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You see, that mask is in 30 frames a second.
I'd laugh if you bought one of the microtransaction things and all it unlocks in the game. It's like a random thing, and they're like, oh my god, it can boost all the stats. And then when you finally get the drill and you open up the box, it just gives you an unlocked mask of the troll face.
See, that would be, like, they would never do that, but that'd be a hilarious microtransaction. If it was, like, really cheap, but it was just, like, a joke of, like, haha. People would be so mad, but it'd be funny.
It would be.
All right, so anyway, second bit of news, take it away, Pew.
Alright, how many of you are totally looking forward to that, like, PlayStation VR, you know? Wearing
I am.
that big headset and stuff, and, it's
I am.
actually not as big as I am. And it's not, like, horribly priced. Like, I can see people buying it. I won't be
Uh-oh.
getting it personally, but, like, I can see people buying it. Like, that's, like, it's only, when I say only, it says
Uh-oh.
probably about 350 pounds.
Oh my god, really?
That's not that heavy.
Like I said, it's not that heavy. Like, I expected it to be like 5 or, you know,
Ba-dum.
600 or some shit. You know, but, yeah.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be around, like, 350.
About 350 quid is literally, right now, about £51 dearer than the console.
Yeah.
But I still want one of those VR headsets. Don't think I'll buy one at launch, but I would like
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So, and also, just in case, you know, I was thinking, like, back to Heavy Rain, if you, like, do that in VR, it works with the motion controls. So you can now, like, look in 360 degrees while you chop off a dude's fingers, you know? But, like,
Logically,
yeah.
you'd be looking through his eyes.
Yeah. You can look through his eyes, but you can look at his bloody chopped off fingers. Anyway, but yeah, so it uses the motion controls, but it says it primarily will probably still focus on the controller. So I hope you don't have to look at your buttons, because you'd be like, oh, wait, I don't see it, because I have the headset on. Which kind of
To be fair,
Yeah.
the people who look at their buttons are ones who don't game all the time enough to remember the button placement.
Mhm.
Therefore, let's just face it, they're not going to be spending £350 on an extra gaming accessory.
They won't, but I can just imagine if you already have it and you try a new game and you're playing with somebody and they say, like, and you're just like, hey, press the blah blah button, and they're like, oh wait, you know, you just try a new button in a new game, assuming that these, will have new games for them. Yes.
I'm looking forward to the fact it can do eye movement and stuff like that for how it works and all that. I can't wait for Shed Tear to mourn.
I just want the equivalent of like what P was saying with the searching for the button, where it's like look left, and the person's like, oh wait, which way? And they're sitting there like trying to think of which way is left, like looking around.
Like my left or your left?
It's the one of these hands. It's this direction. That's right, and the game just face palms.
You just see a hand come up in front of you. Oh, God damn it, hand! I didn't want to face palm right now.
Go left, look left, so you look right, and it unlocks the achievement. Boom, hi Pew.
Yeah. But it actually looks a lot lighter. Like the one dude they quoted at this, they quoted here, and it says, it looks like I'm a robot, and that's cool. Like, that's literally his quote. And they said, I'm one of those guys who tried it on in, like, a booth. And I was like, oh, and it's like an adult,
tell us
too.
they interviewed you, Rick.
Well, I was leaving it as a surprise.
It looks like I'm a robot, and that's cool.
To be fair, it is cool to look like a robot.
It is. It's just that's the way he worded it.
Only if you're a cool robot.
Yeah. So now you can be like all your things that end with machines or whatever in your
all the
games
things
of transforming.
Yeah. Now you can be a cool robot like the Sentinels in the past on Days of Future Past. Or you could be a future robot like the ones in the future on Days of Future Past.
I was gonna be like all your Trons and Primes and Waves. And
Yes.
bees.
My favorite's Mexican Wave.
Mexawave. That sounds like the greatest, second most racist robot ever.
Mexican Wave, like they do at sporting events where they lift their hands up and go, whoa, and it goes around the arena.
Never heard it called Mexican Wave.
Oh, that's what people over here always refer to it, the Mexican Wave. Woo! Whenever they do it at football.
But yeah. And it's gonna come out, this is 2016, so yeah.
I've heard that year.
Yeah, it's next year.
What?
Spoilers?
Yeah. Yeah, next year, 2016. How about it?
All right. So, Mole, your second bit of news?
My second bit of news. A Cruel Intentions television series is making its way to NBC. According to Variety, the network has purchased a script, and Roger Kumble, the director-writer of the original 1990 film, is committed to the project. The show will reportedly offer a modern spin on the hit movie that starred Reese Witherspoon's Annette Hargrove, by offering a present-day look at her 16-year-old son, Bash Casey. Whoa, I'm echoing again. Her story will centre around Bash, who, after finding his deceased father's journal and learning about his family's past, decides to leave his quaint Kansas life and enroll in San Francisco prep school in an effort to find himself. Which, that's pretty cool, which, let's face it, 1990, that was like, what, about 16 years ago, which is how long, 15, 16 years ago, which is how long he is. And the journal, which was the famous plot point of fucking Cruel Intentions, the movie, he's obviously the son of Sebastian Valmont. Why the fuck aren't they listing him in the description? Sebastian. He was like the main character. Come on, Sebastian. Yeah, that was my news.
All right.
I like Cruel Intentions. Love Cruel Intentions. Cruel Intentions 2 was okay, but that was their first attempt at a TV show and it failed, and they just put it together as a sequel, which was actually a prequel, which made no fucking sense as a prequel. That one's not that good, but the third one's cool, where it deals with Catherine's cousin, and it has Jack from Dawson's Creek in it. He's cool.
Oh, there we go.
in the third one. The first one's the best one, with
Yeah.
Ryan Phillippe as Sebastian. No one liked Cruel Intentions.
Never saw it.
Oh, you should.
Never heard of it.
That one doesn't surprise me, but you should, Rick. Has Sarah Michelle Gellar in it as a really slutty evil woman who to everyone else seems like this cool, like, prep school, like, sweetheart, like the all-American girl. And behind closed doors, her crucifix, she takes it off and has cocaine in it. She tries to have sex with her stepbrother. It's fucking awesome. She even tries to teach this girl how to kiss, and they both French kiss for the sole purpose of destroying her. It's awesome.
All right.
Oh, it's like, okay then, I'm just gonna move on
Not sure
from
where to go
this.
from there.
Bet your Transformers didn't have lesbian kissing.
No. All I remember hearing about that movie was her trying to.
Are there
Sex
even
with her
female
brother.
Transformers? Or are they all like just dudes?
Yes.
This is one big transforming sausage fist.
Actually, there is female Transformers.
Yes.
I imagine if they have to reproduce if there's something, whatever. But
Don't
they had to
try
be
and
created.
don't try and perverse the Transformers.
I mean, did
That's
someone
right.
just build up and leave, piss off, or did they like breed or whatever?
They're all created from Sorry's Key.
I don't know what that is. Is that
It's a
like
it's a reference to a series, but it's cool. Back to Rick.
yeah?
All right, for my second bit of news, saw this morning, thought it was really awesome. But Idea Factory International announced that Trillion God of Destruction is coming to America and Europe in spring of 2016, exclusively for the Vita. And it's basically, I think I mentioned this a while ago when they first talked about it, but it's basically there's a big mean boss coming and he has 1 trillion HP. And the basic idea is whenever he's sleeping, you have to grind and get up your stats and whatever, and then when he's moving, you go and attack him and try to, throughout the course of the game and over several characters, try to whittle down that 1 trillion HP. And it'll take a while because there's like New Game Plus and different endings and stuff like that. So I'm going to assume that the first run through is probably impossible to get him all the way down. But it's kind of a cool idea. I'm anxious to see how the game plays, so I'm looking forward to
So does his
probably trying it. Hmm?
is it gonna take this? So does his HP stay down? Like you already would
Yes.
beat the whole
He
game
does-
and got a
yeah, he
character, and then like your next
Yeah.
character, he'll start from like I don't know, 80 million HP or something or whatever.
As
Instead
far
of,
as I
like,
know, he
so-
does not heal. So basically, you just go through all your characters to try and whittle it down. He won't regain
Yeah,
any.
but I mean, like when you play the story again, when you play the story again, usually everything starts over. So
Why? Let me see. Your stats carry over to New Game Plus as per the press release. So I assume that you do more damage each time. I think with each run he would probably heal, but you'd stay if you got to level 50 or something like that, you'd start at level 50, so you'd probably get higher and therefore do more.
I imagine
healing.
Yeah,
you just go back in time and kind of reset, because you're starting your new character and he.
I'll assume he'll heal for a New Game Plus, just because if you got one of the endings where you kill him and you enter New Game Plus, it's instant win every time.
Yeah.
But it's a shame it's only coming out on the Vita. I was really hoping that was going to come out on PlayStation TV.
Oh, you. I just like to put it that way. Anyway, but yeah, I thought that was cool. So now
Sounds
on
cool.
to the catch-up section. So with the whatever you've done over the past week, take it away, Mole.
Okay, well, earlier I found this really kinky porn site. It's called...
Uh-huh.
No, I'm kidding. First, I'll say that today, for some reason, and I know the reason, I binge-watched the shit out of 2 shows at once, and I'm going to put this down as one catch-up because they're interlinked. That is WWE Tough Enough and Tough Talk. Like I was watching one episode of Tough Enough when the Tough talked, it was like straight after it, which makes like 2 hours show. Really enjoying that. I'm near the end now. I've got like a couple of episodes left, but I just binge watched it all day. For the sole purpose of Monday, that new one starts up, voiced by William Shatner. The Battle Proving Grounds or Battlegrounds, or well, it's something like that. I can't remember what the hell it's called.
Right.
But I'm thinking that might have the NXT. It might have the people from Tough Enough who signed getting trained for NXT, so we can see them all rise up.
Nice.
But I wasn't sure, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch this just in case. Especially now it's on the network for just $9.99.
Huh?
The other thing I watched this week, and Pew will want to mute, and I will type when I'm finished. Pew.
I'm just gonna take off my headset.
Yeah, that's why I'll be typing for you. Is what I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
But also remember to mute so we don't echo.
Yeah.
Is Arrow season 4? I watched the first episode of that because it just started here last week. But it starts on the Thursday. I think it's Thursdays. I think here, which means it's always after we finished recording these. Which means I loved the first episode. They got Damien Dark, who's awesome. I love that villain. He's played by M. Bison from that Legend of Kung Lee movie.
Oh.
There's no way of... that's not his best work, but...
Oh, yeah? No, I don't know.
He's awesome on Arrow, though. Like, there's even a scene where basically Oliver lands on the back of the train, and since he died at the end of season 3, Damien Dark mentions, "Who are you? You can't possibly be the Arrow. He's dead." To which I was like, "I'll tell you who I am. I'm the man who's bringing you to justice," and pulls out his bow and arrow and goes to shoot her. To which Damien Dark just goes, "Oh, you! You don't know who I am, do you?" When he fires his arrow and he just stops it in the air, like with telekinesis. And he keeps firing them and he just fires them all back at him. Luckily, Oliver moves, and there's a fight with which Damien Dark kicks his ass. But I love the beginning where Oliver's with Felicity and he even takes the piss when he tries a bit of her cooking and looks down and goes, "Felicity, you have failed this omelette."
Yeah.
I was like, that's a great joke. But I also love the fact he mentions on the news, on the show, he does a news report and he mentions, "I need to be the symbol of hope that this city needed. And since the Arrow is dead, I will issue in that hope. The hope the Arrow could never be. I am the Green Arrow." And he's got the sleeveless look and all that. It's like, oh my god, that's awesome. Also, Weird Mouth is actually part of the Hive. But Weird Mouth doesn't want to be in the Hive for evil reasons. Weird Mouth doesn't really like having to kill all the innocent people, so Weird Mouth is having a crisis of confidence, whatever you'd call it, which... Luckily, we know how that's going to go. Eventually, Oliver will bring him round and show him what's what, especially with the fact we all know his daughter, which is why he hates Oliver at the moment, dying, is being resurrected as she was in the Legends of Tomorrow trailer. So at some point, Weird Mouth will be friends with Green Arrow.
Yeah.
That was all for me, and I shall go over and type to Pew.
All right.
Oh! Actually, no, I'd be dickish now I thought we'd done.
Oh, assuming it was you who just messaged me. I just got the notification.
Yes, we just typed below. We said we were going to type below on the Skype call, and we did.
Oh, okay. Oh, on the Skype call. Oh. I was looking on. I'm sorry. I wanted to say Skype. When I heard the word Skype in my head, I imagined I said Google Hangouts, but I didn't.
Okay, but anyway, I believe we're excited over to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, I've been playing Sunset Overdrive. That's really fun. I love it has lots of things to collect. And you can even get maps to help you even find the things you can collect, but it's still it doesn't overly be okay, it's right here. It doesn't too much, it's not annoyingly obvious where it is. It still gives you a little bit of looking, but it's good enough, which I like. So that's super fun, and you can make all your cool amps, which pretty much are like gives your weapon another feature. Because when you fight, you have to do it with like style and move around and shit, or balance and things, and that levels up your style meter, which gives your weapons like extra abilities. Like when I shoot people with my record player, I also electrocute them.
Nice.
So yeah, like cool things like that. And you can make more of those, or I have like the one where everybody blows up and like confetti and stuff comes out instead of like blood darts.
Yay!
I know, right? I was like, I gotta add that. That's just awesome, you know.
Also, Ghost
Yeah.
Gun trick.
So my favorite weapon is the TN Teddy, which is pretty much just a teddy strapped to an alarm clock and dynamite. And pretty much you just throw it around people, and all the people actually pick it up and look at it, and it goes like, "Hi, I'm TN Teddy," and you know.
That so sounds like the Dead Rising
Yeah.
3 weapon.
It does.
Yeah. But it's really fun. I just love it because it's like, oh, it's so cute. Now murder everyone.
Nice.
That's my favorite one. And you get a whole bunch of one of the amps I have equipped is the single shot weapons. They get like extra ammo, so I got that like 4 times over, like times 4. So I get like 4 times as much ammo per weapon. So it's like I have like amount of ammo that you would have for a machine gun, but I have that for like a grenade launcher. So I will like never fucking run out. I mean I will, but it'll take a really fucking long ass time to run out of like teddies that you shoot.
Nice.
It's like pretty awesome. It's like there shouldn't be like this much ammo. Like you're like I have to be carrying around like a whole like freaking truck. You know, keep back and throw, keep going. That's the ammo that I have on my person. Because you would not physically be able to hold all this ammo. I just think it's really funny. Because it's like it's fucking Teddy, like and dynamite and alarm clock. That's like pretty big, and to have more than one of those is like it's like can you imagine like one dude holding it like oh my god damn it But yeah.
And I'd be like walking around like the side of, I don't know, Skyrim filled with nothing but heavy armors.
or like candles that have been underwater but somehow are still lit.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we don't question these logic in games when they let you do that. We just go with it.
I know, but it's just like it's so much, like even more like ammo than I've ever had in any other game for like a grenade launcher. And there's like no reload time, so I can keep going. Like I don't even have to like, go, I'm out, reload with my crazy amounts of ammo. No, I'm just gonna keep going. Like it's all in the gun. Yeah, that's really fun so much. I didn't like the only thing I don't really like about it is I think the main character's kind of like a douche. Like he's like super tries to be cool, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like they try super hard. You can see how hard they're trying. And sometimes it's like, I don't know. I'm not siding you with this one. No, sorry, you lost me on this one. Because your character's very opinionated and stuff about like all the other characters in the world. So I don't know. That can be hit or miss.
Fair enough.
And it could be really weird because when you start out, like half of your character creation is in this one segment, and then they go to this little like intro thingy, and then they finish your character screen. Because I actually couldn't figure out. I was like, wait, that can't be it. Like, let me finish my character. What? And then they do. Oh, and you can only have at least what I've seen, only one character per like account, which I think is weird. Like you have to delete your character if you want to like make a new one. But yes, whatever. Because before when I thought my character wasn't finished, I'm like, oh, wait, because it goes to your like account, and I was like, if you're not Geeky Girl, sign into the Xbox as somebody else, and then you can start a new character. And I'm like, no, fuck that. I want all the characters. But okay, fine.
All the characters.
So, yeah, piss off. I want an army of like trying too hard douchebags.
I believe that was season 5 of Tough Enough. I'm kidding.
So yeah, that's my first thing. And then, Broken Age. That is friggin' awesome. I really like that. Oh, Mo, you can take off your headset if you feel like I'm going to spoil it. And then if you do, then we'll go into spoilers, because I know that I won't spoil it for you, because you will not be there. Okay.
I'm fine. Yeah, I don't know.
I think he did it. So, okay. I'm gonna start saying stuff now from the game. I didn't know if you were like okay, I'm doing it now. Headset's off. We're good. Okay, whatever. But anyway, so basically, I started off as Vela, and there's like all these monsters and stuff, and people like feed the princesses to the monsters, and they're like willingly like they have like all these like dresses that say "Come eat me" or like I'm tasty size or whatever. Like it's like, oh goddamn, they just fucking throw them out there, like with hey, these women want to be like eaten because they think it's like they'll be the hero or whatever. But it'll be like you'll be dead and that'll be fucking it. Like fuck this, I'd be out of there. So eventually, like this one chick escapes, and pretty much you go through the whole thing figuring out like this is because I played as her. And you figure out if you play her first, and then the second dude, the guy, spaceship, you figure out that he's actually the dude inside the monster thing, he thinks he's rescuing people, because you see these little, like, pixelated, like, Space Invaders, like, things. Like, they look like little Space Invader monsters. And you just have your giant claw arm, like, bloop, and you rescue them. And you think you're rescuing people, but he's actually kidnapping or choosing which princesses to take. Not really princesses, I guess they're like maidens or whatever, but basically they're dressed up like princesses. Yeah, and then eventually, like, she gets the ship all fucked up and it breaks and they switch places because she's gonna check out the ship, and then he gets locked out of the ship, so they switch places, and it's pretty much really interesting seeing them in the other environment and stuff, so that was really cool. I think I'm almost finished with it because I'm at the point where uh, you have to play as both characters kind of at the same time, because before you could do like her side of story, then your side of story, and in the second act, then you could do most of the dude's story and then go to the chick, but you had to kind of do them like he could do half of it and then her half, and then and it was more mesh, but now I'm at the point where I think it's like a third act, where you have to do everything like in sync and everything. So it's super fun. It's really awesome, really interesting story. I love the art style. The only thing which I think is point and click, because it's point and click, when you go to the triangle, which opens up your inventory, when you go to put something back, sometimes when you click it, click the item you have in your hand and you place it back where the shadowed out part of the item is to put it back, it'll pretend you're using it again and say whatever the dialogue is when you click to use something. So I found out that sometimes I have to click all the way to the left where there's a blank space where there isn't any item just to put it back to where it was originally. Which I think if you were doing on a mouse it would work out much better, but because it's a controller it just was weird or whatever. But you eventually find a way to put your items back and get the ones you want. That was the only technical error that I thought of. So to more yo. Spoiler. Who was? I was totally spelling errors. You can come back. I think I'm typing in the wrong combo.
You did, but don't worry, I was used to your stupidity.
Okay.
Also, it's a really weird way of wording it.
Spoilers over. The spoilers are over.
Yes, but you didn't start with spoilers are over. It was spoilers over. Spoilers, you can come back.
Well, I misspelled the word spoilers, that's why I put it again. So you knew what I was saying because you couldn't read my horrible misspelling.
Woo!
Yeah!
All right. So for my catch-up then,
What spoilers do you have now? I'm just messing with you.
Some, but I don't think anyone will care about it. But I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh,
First thing I'll talk about is I played Transformers Devastation. Beat that game. Funny story. It's funny to me at least. So Redbox had a free rental thing, so over the weekend. So I was like, all right. So I rented it. Played the game, beat it because it's kind of short, and then returned it. And then the next day, they're like, oh yeah, here's your review code for it. We were waiting for a while. I was like, thanks. So I was like, okay, now yeah, I was gonna write up a review anyway because it's pretty short, but okay, now I'm gonna have to. Just made me laugh. But yeah, that game's fun. It is very short though. Has some really cool fights. I feel like if you're a fan of it, like you'll there's more tension. Because like in chapter 4, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but whatever. Like Motormaster shows up, and they mention like he's like, oh, send Motormaster, and if you know who that is, you're like, okay, he's gonna be another combiner because that's what he does. He's one of the centerpieces. But I imagine if you don't really know as much about it, you'll just be like, oh, okay, and then he shows up, and you're like, oh, okay, he's just this guy, and then when he shows up later, you're like, oh, okay, oh, he can do that too. Where like, so like you get more surprised, I think, if you don't know as much. Where if you do, you have like, you're like, oh, like you know what to look forward to. But anyway, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Those boss fights, some of them are pretty fun. Yeah.
I do like the boss fight. I will say though, I wish they hadn't, as I put it to Marcus the other day, blown their wad in like the first story.
Mm-hmm.
Like chapter 1, you fight Devastator, and like chapter 1 or 2, you defeat Megatron as Bumblebee. The second Megatron reappears later on, I'm like, you're not a threat to me. Bumblebee took you out. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm like, you shouldn't do that. Megatron and Devastator should have been at the end, and you should have wasted some of the other ones earlier. Like, I don't know, 2 Starscream fights. I could have believed, as much as I like Starscream, I could have believed he'd be a throwaway villain for chapter 1 or 2, and he'd be credible.
Yeah. But yeah, I could see that. I think one of the things that I didn't like as much was that you fight. It's cool that you fight Devastator, but like you fight him and then you fight the individual. Well, you fight him in groups of 2, but then you fight the Constructicons and then Devastator again. It's like it would have been cooler if you just fought the Constructicons and then Devastator. So you're like, oh, like like I said earlier, if you're a fan, you're like, oh, I know what's gonna happen. Where like if you're just a someone that might not know as much, you're just like, oh, cool, they're construction people. Oh, they're in groups of 2. Oh, there's like 6 of them. They're like a team. Then they become a giant one. You're like, oh, shit.
I want to join up.
Yeah.
This sounds like my thought process exactly. Oh, look at that. They're doing this. Now they're doing this. Hey, look, now they're doing this. I give it their friends. Like,
yeah. But I think you fight, except for Shockwave, I think you fight every boss at least twice. But oh yeah, spoiler, Shockwave. But yes, some of those fights are kind of cool. Like, but one that could have been way more dramatic is, again, spoilers. At the end, you like fight all the Constructicons at once, which was awesome, and you also have like your other people there with you, like AI controlled. So it feels like just this giant brawl. And then they become devastating, and you're fighting them, and then like you do some damage, and then like Menasor shows up, and like it should have been more dramatic, because like really you see that and you're just like, oh shit, 2 at once. But it just kind of shows up and then the fight starts, and I'm like, oh, you need some like they could have made that way more dramatic. Also makes me laugh because all the Constructicons are there, but then when Motormaster shows up, when the other ones come up, they just make Menasor like they were gonna have them in the game and like ran out of time or whatever. Like, fuck it, just the cars drive up and just make the big one. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, but it's also funnier because Devastator, ironically, is more of a threat in Chapter 1 than he is at the end.
Yeah.
Only because by the end, you've leveled up all your shit, and I'm like, yeah, eat Darksabers, and like Nemesis Prime going, or Optimus with his axe, I leveled up to whatever the fuck it was, like 9 or 10 or something stupid. And I'm just going,
Admittedly, though, some of those weapons are cool. I didn't know you gotta. Do you actually? Oh, he comes with the Darksabers for the DLC, right?
I also kept finding a few, so I'm not sure if it then adds it to
Oh,
the
it
stuff
probably
that.
does. Yeah. Because
I
I got a
also
Star Saber for beating it, which was fucking cool, and I'm like, oh, nice. Dark Saber would be amazing.
I also like the fact you get multiple weapons off the bosses too. Like, even though I don't know I don't know if this is accurate to Optimus. I assume not,
Mhm.
because he's not this cool to do this. My two guns, one was fucking star screams, and the other one is sound waves. And it was just cool to swap between. Like, no, you get sound. Now you get star scream.
Yeah, I didn't get a Soundwave weapon.
Oh, I did. When I beat Soundwave, I got this
Mhm.
noise weapon.
It might be the one that's technically, I think, Jazz's, if it has the speakers on the side of it.
Yeah, it is, but I
Oh,
thought that
okay.
was meant to be a reference to Soundwave because when I got it, it's all purple like the Decepticons, and it makes the noise. So I was like, oh, okay, I
Oh,
got it
I
for
didn't.
defeating Soundwave. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, okay.
Yeah, mine wasn't purple. Mine was like the just black. Because I know that there was and it looked like one of the for the like one of the jazz toys that they made, like because he had little speakers because they had it in one episode of the show, so they're like, fuck it, give him speakers on the toy, and you could like clip him on his gun and it looked like that. So it might be like a different color of it or something. That's pretty cool. I didn't get that one. I did get Shockwave, which is awesome. I was like, oh, I
Hey.
want to use this. It's a little Shockwave. But yeah, the weapons you get are cool. You get Devastator's drills, and you also get the gun that shoots the drill, like the toys could have, and you get Minosaur's sword, and
Yeah, which I will say one thing which was both a plus and a negative. I couldn't optimize Optimus as much as I wanted to optimize him.
hmm
That's a lot of optims. But yeah, mainly because he shares his weapon loadout and his stats and everything like that with Nemesis Prime. Because it's
Mm.
even though they're listed as different characters when you choose them,
Okay.
I set it up so the top one was the dark saber, the other one was the axe. So no matter which costume I used, I could pull out their correct weapon.
Nice.
Because I'm like, I could use a drill as Optimus. No, I want to use an axe. I want to use an axe as Optimus, and I want to use the sword as the other one because it
Yeah, I
looks
had like a
more.
flaming axe for Optimus because I didn't get the Star Saber till like the end, but I think I gave that to Wheeljack just because I wanted Sideswipe. I liked the idea of him dual wielding, but since Bumblebee, I'm like, fuck it, I need to make him somewhat cool. I gave him Devastator's drills. I'm hoping that like one of my favorites and one of my least favorites, maybe to put him in the middle.
Nice.
I forgot what I originally had Grimlock with the hammer, just because I figured Grimlock would choose the hammer given a choice. But
I
I
think
think I
I gave
changed. Yeah,
Grimlock the giant hammer too because it was a dual wield one. I'm like, hey, it works for him.
yeah.
And
I
until I got
think
a
though,
big sword.
I think I ended up giving him Minosaur's sword just because I picture that's a bigger sword, and he's like, "Yeah, me Grimlock hit things," and you're like, "Yes, you do." But yeah, that game's pretty fun. Short though. um, and then next thing I did was real quick too. Since I was renting it and I didn't think I would have as much time to play it and stuff, what I did was there's like the model viewer where you can unlock the models and you can have them
Mhm.
transform or do stuff or whatever. That's funny. I didn't realize Soundwave didn't transform until that point. Because like his action was he would eject the little dude. I'm like, oh, he doesn't transform, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I thought back on the fight, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't transform. That's weird. But I took the one of Devastator and I like basically screenshotted it from the game. I don't know if that's a verb, but whatever. Took a screenshot of it and I set that as my background. And since I already on the Xbox One had like the blue coloring, and it's basically Devastator on a blue background, it looks really fucking nice.
Nice.
So like all this blue and this cool picture of Devastator in the background, and which will be there until I want to get some of the harder achievements just because they have the artwork with them is like I want that as a background. But yeah, anyway, the other thing I did this past week was Wife Blade and I watched some of Sword Art Online 2 because they put that up on Netflix, subbed only, and we haven't watched all the episodes. There's like 25 episodes. I think we watched like 19 of them or something, 18, 19. Saw the first arc, which is notable. I mean, not like you could get much worse than the fairy arc, because the original one, it was like 26 episodes, but it was like split into 2 arcs. There was like the normal arc that tells the actual story, and then the fairy arc that's just fucking awful. Where they completely destroy one of their main characters because whatever, don't care, and they further god mod the main character. And then this one, they still continue god modding him, and it's still kind of ridiculous, but it's a much better story and than the fairy arc, and in some ways than the original one, because I think they have really good character. They introduced like one new character, and she's fucking cool. Because spoilers, I guess, but like you see this pretty early. But in her backstory, when she was 11. She was with her mom at the post office, and this dude came in and, excuse me, tried to rob the place, and like put the gun like at her mom, and so she like hit him. You know, she's 11 years old, and she's like, don't, you know, she like hit his leg, and he dropped the gun, and she grabbed it, and they struggled, and she shot him, and then shot him again, and then he came at her, and she shot him in the head accidentally, and killed the guy. And I'm like, and my wife and I are like, that's fucking awesome. Give that girl a high five. But now she's like traumatized, so it's harder for her. Like if she sees a gun on like TV or holds one or whatever, she freaks out and throws up or whatever, because it traumatized her. But like she plays the online game, GGO, I forget what they call it, guns something online. But like in the game, she can actually use guns, so she's like trying to use that as therapy, where she figures if she gets really good at the game, she'll be more comfortable, and in real life then could actually not freak out when she sees a gun. And so she has an arc with that, dealing with all the other stuff. I won't spoil the rest of the story. It's pretty good, ties in very well. In the end of it's really good. But it's like I thought they did really well with her as a character. And then to try and redeem the character that they completely fucking destroyed last time. They have 2 little bits, and it's like, oh, they're trying, just not very hard. But yeah, it's kind of cool. And then like the next small arc is them trying to find Excalibur in the game or whatever, and that one's kind of cool. It doesn't fully. It's not like super meaningful. Like if you skip it, you're not going to miss anything. But it's still not bad. It's not that fucking fairy arc. But it's really bad. I haven't seen a single person that watched it. It's like, no, that one was okay. Most people are like, yeah, it's awful. But one of the nice parts is it shows. Yes, it's like that. Except that like there is lasting damage to one of the main characters. Where like they basically as I know this wouldn't do anything for Wifeblade, but I was joking that the main character is like John Cena, so the other characters, they'll sacrifice them to build him up, which he doesn't need. Because it's kind of funny because it's set in an MMO world, and at first it does that, but as it goes along, he becomes like kind of god modded in the sense of like the way the character is. It makes sense as a single player perspective of like if you were playing like let's say Dragon Age or something, and they build you up and like you're the main focus. Yeah, that makes sense. Where for a single player thing, but in an MMO it makes less sense because it feels like they shouldn't try to build up one person.
So what they're doing is basically he's someone who in his off time goes off and gets like all the top tier gear, or does all the raids. I mean, he spends all his time beating lower down people to give himself a sense of worth. Ugh.
Not quite, but it's like he's like naturally good, and he's not like arrogant about it, but like they go out of their way to make sure that like he always kills the monsters and does all the like god modded stuff, and of course all the girls like him no matter what, and which it's so it's a bit ridiculous. It's very Japanese, but it's still enjoyable. And like I've played some of the game, which introduced characters that were in Sword Art Online too, so now like I know a bit about those characters, even though they're sort of different because the way the video game does it, it's like an alternate version. I don't know, it's one of those things of like it hasn't been going long enough that you already have like alternate versions, but whatever. So now it's like, oh, okay, now I saw the character in the game, I kind of know him, and now I get to see where they, the idea came from. It's like, oh, okay, kind of feeds in each other in some way.
Is the game actually an MMO?
No, it's
Ah,
basically it's like a single player. There is a multiplayer thing, but I was never able to like find anybody. Um, but no,
oh,
it's basically like it's kind of like Dot Hack. Yeah, I don't know if you played that. You should though. Those were good. The first, well, actually both sets were pretty good. Where it's basically a single player story of the character set in an MMO.
nice.
Which the game's pretty fun. Not super. It's I wouldn't say the game. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna go too much in the game. It's not super friendly to newcomers.
Hmm.
um, and it's got some minor issues, but I did like it mostly as a fan of the property of the show. Um, but and it's got a couple that like I wish you could pause it. You know, it has like a couple things where it's like, well, we're trying to emulate an MMO, and it's like that's cool, that's legit. Also, it's not an MMO. Please don't do that. You know, where it's like you can't pause because you can't pause an MMO. I know, but it's not an MMO. I get your idea. It's cute. No.
Or at least do it where if you press pause, he does like a loading animation or something.
Yeah, or something, or just because like the only way I really found to pause it is like in dialogue. Like story dialogue, and it's like yes, and you like run up and grab dinner or whatever. But yeah, I mean like the time doesn't really matter as much, but it's sometimes you just want to pause because you have to do
Yeah.
something. You know, if you're out in the dungeon, you don't want to like have to sit in a corner, and you know it's like it's. I get what you were going for.
Yeah, you can only pee in so many bottles.
Exactly. And if you do it on the floor, people get mad, and you're like, well, you know, it's not my fault. It's the game. It won't let me pause. Um, but yeah. So anyway,
Wife
on to
blade. I'm playing Sword Online. Fetch my best adult diaper.
yes. I mean, so the thing is, like, when she brings dinner down, I get that. I can't get seconds. I got to go get it myself. So she'd probably bring me a diaper, but then she wouldn't bring it up and bring me another one. So like that only buys me so much time.
Yeah, I like to think of you like in the basement to play this game, and you
Mhm.
got it set up in the basement just so you can have a dummy waiter that appears next to your head with meals. So you can be, oh, I'm wearing a diaper. Push it with your nose, so it goes back up. Seconds.
Reach up elbow and no, I call my children down to push the button. Even better. Yell at the stairs, come down. What do you want, Dad? Push the button. Okay. Now you can go back upstairs now. Did you
Yes.
reach over and do that? I could. Albion's not going to save itself. Anyway, now on to our topic, which are first-person shooters based off things that we would like to see, up to 7 of them. So with yours first, take it away, Mole.
Okay. I mentioned before we recorded this, but I'll let the audience know.
Mhm.
These aren't in order of my favourites. I put them in order of how I think they would sell. But they are my top 7, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And I've named some of them, but like number 7, I've literally just called it History Cop. This one's my only one that's not based on a property. This one is jumping through various time because you're in charge of maintaining the time balance shit. You know, like I know, like Time Force in Power Rangers or something like that. But you're a cop, and therefore you keep jumping to various eras, and it sort of plays like Battlefield Hardline or Siege. You know those type of games because it's PvE.
Mhm.
And you have to travel to these famous events and eras, like I don't know, the Renaissance or Native Americans, or you know what I mean, or various eras throughout time, or ancient Rome and stuff. But you have to not interfere with the time. So when you get there, you have to equip weapons based upon that era and go first
Mhm.
person to try and take them out and plan how you're going to do this and take out the person who's jumped through time to avoid interfering with anything or any timeline, and you will get points for how much you manage to keep the timeline the same and stuff. And like you could even do multiplayer, like so like me, you, and Pew could easily jump in and plan out. Okay, so this guy's gonna appear over here, but here's Guy Fawkes trying to blow upon him, and what we need to do is wait until Guy Fawkes does it, and there's the big distraction over there. The crowds will clear. Then you fire your like zip line across. I'll go over. We'll get into the building. We'll shoot him down, take him out that way. You know what I mean? Like plan like a heist style thing to take out this imposter who shouldn't be there. And at the same time, you can unlock bonus content about the historical eras to teach people about those times.
Nice.
I don't know. I just think that'd be cool, but with it being based upon history and not containing the words assassin or creed, I don't think it'll sell very well. So I put that as number 7 on my list.
I could see that. I could see that being one of those games that's like really good, but just people don't buy it.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, critics are like, "This is good, please go buy it," and then nobody does, and then, you know, they start to realize, like Kotaku will realize its own useless existence. You're like, we can't shape the market, and then something else will come along, and then they'll forget and be like, "Haha, yes, we do run the numbers," and it's like, sure, whatever.
Yes.
Maybe that's a really pessimistic view. I don't know.
Yeah, like IGN or other sites like you mentioned, like Kotaku and stuff, will post about how this is the must-play first-person shooter, and only do one article about it, but yet 10 fucking articles about how Call of Duty is slightly different,
Yes.
and wonder why the numbers don't match. I thought Pew might have liked that one, but she's oddly quiet.
Yeah, it was alright. It was really interesting. I mean, like, no, I didn't mean that in like a sense of like I have something better, because I don't. I have a bunch of shit that no one will ever buy, but except me. But, I wouldn't even buy some of these, but I think the idea was that someone would.
I wouldn't even buy these. They're meant to be your dream games.
I'm not gonna say that I want them. I mean, like, I thought it'd be cool if they're there. I don't know if I'd pay money for them. Like, you know, or at least wait for them to go on sale, or you know.
Yes. So what is your first one then, Pew?
Okay, I'm trying to think which one I should do first based on order of them selling. Which one would sell the least?
I'm just going to say thwip. Normally that's the Spider-Man noise. However, for the purpose of these, so the audience know that thwip is the sound of my face being palmed. Thank you. Thwip.
Alright. I thought it would be really cute if like kids had like another first person shooter that's like not necessarily violent, but it's pretty much essentially the same thing of like any regular shooter, but like with Yoshis with like eggs and stuff. Basically, I thought it would be fun if you had like maybe 4 friends and you pretty much just shooting eggs around, but like you can collect like Yoshi eats different fruit, and that'll like, and then based on where you go to reload your eggs, like if you get a certain fruit, maybe like that'll turn your eggs to like fiery or something, and that'll be like what changes up your like ammo and everything based on what fruit you eat.
So this would be the equivalent of Richter eating a Big Mac then launching his son at someone.
Yeah. Except the thing is, if he had like one of those like spicy Big Macs, his kid might be on fire when he comes out, you know?
Yes, that's how that works.
Yeah, so I thought that would be really fun and adorable. Like, you know, maybe if he eats like ice cream or something, and then, you know, goes around to where he can redo the ammo, like it would be like icy egg or something, you know? And you just like shoot your friends, whatever. You can all be like different colored Yoshis, and it'd be fun.
Nice. And here I thought only women in their late 40s froze their eggs. That is really mean, I'm sorry.
Yoshi is now a woman in her 40s, confirmed.
I always thought Yoshi is monogender because none of their eggs are fertilized. Unless they meet up with another Yoshi.
Yoshis are like triple. There's always another one.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
That's okay, I know, I'm crying.
A triple is what it's called as you're running the ball in basketball.
The name sounds familiar, but I can't
It's
actually
called tripling.
That's traveling.
All right. So for my first one, which one should I go with? Okay, just to tie this in from earlier, one of the ones on my list is since they had an in the show of Sword Art Online, they had the game of it, and then they made a game of it, and now they have one of the game from season 2 was like as far as I could tell, it looked like a first-person shooter, although you could get like a laser sword, which is awesome, and it also totally, I forgot to mention, had rip-offs. I made a game version of the game in the show.
Nice.
Because it had some cool things of like you only really see how the tournaments work. It was kind of neat because they had like big tournament and it was like single elimination, and then all the people that make it to the finals or whatever, or they gather a lot of them and have like a giant 30-person battle royale where they just have this giant map and they just throw everyone into it at least X amount of distance from each other. But like they had some of the mechanics there, so I could see them easily making a game on it. It'd be kind of cool, I think.
That could be cool. I don't know, man, using swords or something like that in a first-person shooter isn't unheard of.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, wasn't that Red Steel a first-person shooter?
Yes. It was.
Wait, that sounds pretty fun.
All right, so your second one, Will?
Okay, number 6. Planet of the Apes. And I see this being like the humans being like your typical first-person shooter style Marines with all the guns and stuff. But I see the apes coming in like multiple varieties. Like there'll be like the skinnier, smaller apes who are ones using guns and stuff like that. But then there'll also be like big, heavy set like gorilla types who their basic functionality to run through, and they can absorb more damage and just punch people. So then you're literally playing the war and seeing how it evolves. And like you can choose if you play as the apes or the Marines in obviously in like online, but in like the story mode, you play as the apes and just it'd all be about dominating the humans and taking over and making these apes become the dominant species. And then maybe a human one where you then help save the planet or something. But they haven't really done Planet of the Apes games, and I think this would be really cool.
It does seem like that's a property where it's like, when you think about it, you're like, wait, why haven't there been games?
Yeah.
Games or whatever. One of those magical properties that never gets like a really good game attached to it.
Yep.
All right, so Pew, your next one, unless there was more to Planet of the Apes. Sorry.
Oh no, I just went with the basics for that because, like I said,
Okay.
it's like the big gorillas. I could see it being sort of like evolve, where it'll take multiple humans to take him down. Because it's Planet of the Apes. The apes are going to be OP compared to the humans.
Yeah.
So I figured we'd balance it out. They'd find a way of balancing, and I think that could be really fun.
Nice. All right, Pew, your next one.
Alright, this is a game that probably only I'd want to play, nobody else. But
That's not true. We all want to play Pewcraft.
Okay, basically I was thinking kind of in a kind of like the way the goat
you're thinking The Sims?
no, with the goat simulator,
version?
like if it's derpy like that, but kind of in like a rail shooter, like it's not really a rail shooter because obviously you can move around and stuff, but similar, I guess. Basically just shooting sandwiches at homeless people. So that's kind of what I want to say, and I call it like.
That does sound awesome. And ironically, less offensive than my suggestion to you of The Sims high school, American high school version as a first-person shooter.
And I call it like hungry, hungry homeless. Like, and that's how you do. You just go around, and all these people like are popping out from the sides and stuff, and you just take your freaking like cannon or whatever, and you're just shooting like sandwiches like at people. You're like, God damn it! Like here, take a sandwich, and you could have like grenade and like freaking hamburgers would pop out of it or something. So like a whole group of people who are like hungry or they'll just have hamburgers or whatever. And like that's pretty much you just like shoot the sandwiches generally at like homeless people, and that's it.
And like I said, whip.
I would love to play that game,
Hungry, hungry, homeless. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess my next one that I'll go with is there may be a game in this. I don't know. I haven't seen one. But I always found it weird that there was no like first-person shooter version of laser tag. Like I know that laser tag is supposed to be like the real-world equivalent of playing a first-person shooter, but I'm just surprised they haven't done one like that, where it's like a first-person shooter normally, but all the walls are gray and there's like fucking trippy '80s lights everywhere. Looks like
They
you're at a disco. Yeah.
they totally did like first person shooters with just greys and stuff. It's called every PS3 and 360 game for like the first 2 years.
I know, but they don't have like neon lights then on top of that.
Oh no, they were just greys, browns, and green.
Yeah. And then you got to overlay it with like spotlights of all these colors. At least that's how. Maybe they've changed, but I just remember like the one that I did many years ago. That's what it was like. All the walls were gray and there's
Yeah.
just lights. You just run around with the cheesy
Last-
vest.
Last one I did looked sort of like one of the Portal test labs because it was all white with that sort of
Yeah.
and with the lights going off. But please tell me, Rick, when you win a match,
Mhm.
does your victory then get completely undone by some like spotty-nosed teenager coming in and going, okay, you're gonna have to move up now, there's a party on its way.
That'd be awesome. All right. So, Molly, your next one.
Number 5. Marvel's The Daily Bugle. You work as a photographer for JJ in New York. It will have RPG elements like upgrading your transport from like a pedal bike to a moped to a motorbike and stuff. Upgrading your camera like you used to do in Africa or Hakuna Matata as it's called in some places, where you can upgrade your different types of camera to get various stuff. And your idea is to go around New York and take pictures of the various superhero fights. What will be I'm planning to make it so, well, I'm planning, you know what I mean? I was planning for it to be done sort of like non-scripted type way, so it's not like the exact same fight, but it'll be like watching like I don't know, like a Marvel v Capcom mixed with Smash Brothers style fight in the middle of the street between two people they've scripted to be able to fight this way. It's like you could show up and, oh my god, it's Spider-Man v Iron Man, or oh my god, it's Spider-Man v Green Goblin, or something, and just take the photos for the Bugle. And of course, with it being the Blue Bugle, there will be bonus points if you take any pictures that include Spider-Man doing property damage or losing. However, they can then do tie-in events like, oh, Civil War's going on, now it's Hero v Hero and all this stuff, which that'd be awesome.
Spider-Man wants to kill himself. Extra points for that.
Yeah,
That's
but you know,
messed
yeah, but you know what I mean. I think that'd be like, and before people say, well, that's not a first-person shooter, it's first person, and you're shooting the camera. It counts.
Sounds like Pokemon Snap RPG Marvel.
Well, yeah, it's like Africa mixed with Pokemon Snap because that was on the rails, mixed with Freedom, mixed with Battles, mixed with the Marvel thing over skin over the top to make it sell. But I think that'd be really cool. 'Cause that'd be really cool to just be like, okay, I need to get a photo, and with it being Jameson, you need to take the best photo, and you know you'll need to upgrade your camera because he'll bitch you out if you don't have the best camera. And I think that'd be cool to try and see how you can do and upgrade your character to become the best photographer. But that was mine.
Reminds me of my Punch Starter entry.
As long as there's some like out of focus pictures of Pikachu, better than friggin' close up Mews.
I'm pretty sure they won't because I don't think that's a Marvel property.
I'm
But
just saying, like as
yeah,
long as your judgment
be-
is, as long as your judgment is better than that. I mean.
Yeah, and so yeah, that would be similar to your Punch Star advert. I mentioned years ago when they did a Marvel book, I'd want one based on that. When it was this one dude seeing the stuff, through the years. However, I think streamlining it to be just the Bugle would just make more sense from a budget standpoint of like you have to reskin characters.
But if you have multiple, then sequels.
That is true.
someone's like, "Oh man, they needed more Hulk in this." You're like, "Oh, just wait for Daily Bugle 2.
Yes.
Spider on assignment." I don't know.
You'll also get bonus points if you take a picture of someone as they're like midway through shipping between themselves and their inevitable skull counterpart. Oh, I've stumbled across a skull invasion.
DLC.
Yes.
Nice. All right, so Pew, your next one.
Tetris.
No, next one is called Ice King Abduction. It's Adventure Time where pretty much you're the Ice King and you try to take all the princesses, and pretty much the shooting part of it obviously is he can like shoot off all the ice. So you're pretty much shooting at like Finn and Jake and pretty much any princess that tries to defend herself, and you try to get all like kill all the creatures in the land and try to abduct all the princesses. And then when you win, he kind of laughs and fades to black.
I just like the line, "You shoot all the princesses that try to defend themselves."
Yeah. I only say that because most of them don't. Most of them are like, oh, okay.
Fair enough.
I guess I'll let this happen. I mean.
All right, my next one, I think this would be kind of cool to have like a Men in Black one, but it's not all shooting, so there's still some puzzle solving / dialogue stuff to try and find who's an alien or whatever. If,
You're
part of the
going
plot.
to love Men in Black on PS3. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, no, nice try.
Damn it.
But it's like you have like dialogue options where you're trying to some detectiving where you're trying to figure out who is the alien. You're not just going to run around and shoot everyone. This isn't America. Oh wait.
Pew.
There you go. Yeah. But then also when there is combat parts, there are different guns you can use, and it's first person shooter when like fighting the aliens or groups or whatever. And I think that could be kind of cool, and I could also see some potential for like co-op. Like a guy, an agent, and his partner.
That would be awesome. May I suggest a glitch? Well, not
Yes.
a glitch, but a feature to annoy people.
Okay.
If you don't put on your sunglasses before you use the memory wipe, it resets your save.
That'd be funny.
That way, people who want to delete their saves also have a really funny way of doing it. Just go in the game, pull it out, done. Erases all your progress.
Yes.
I think that'd be amazing.
All right, so Mo, your next one.
My next one, and this is really cheating, but I don't care. Either one of two. Either real Ghostbusters or IDW Ghostbusters, basically using the Ghostbusters movie engine.
I also have Ghostbusters on here.
Like the Ghostbusters game itself, by making it the real Ghostbusters, absolutely anything can happen. You can use more tech, and you can actually use the proper voice actors from the real Ghostbusters to get around the whole Egon's dead. And I feel like if they did it, or they could even just make it their own cartoony Ghostbusters series and launch a new series similar to how Activision did with Transformers Cybertron series like War of and Fall of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'd be pretty cool. Because I liked the Ghostbusters game on PS3. I also liked the one on Wii. So I think like a cross between the two, so it's like a cartoony-ish one on the PS3. Like maybe it's downloads, I don't know, or maybe it's disc, but I think that'd be really fun.
Nice. Okay, Pew, your next one.
I'll just do my Ghostbusters one since Mo already had a Ghostbusters one. Although mine was more like in all the Ghostbusters games, I think has there already been one where you don't play as a Ghostbuster?
Yes.
But, you play as yourself.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Because was it first person?
Yes.
I don't know if that exists, but that's what I put down.
Yes, it's called Ghostbusters the video game. Available now on 360, Wii, and PS3. And
Okay.
PS2. And
I didn't know
PC.
about that.
And DS. Oh, that's not first person.
Were those first person? I thought they were third person.
I thought one of them was first because I remember you were looking through and going boom. I thought it was funny.
Maybe.
I couldn't remember which one was first.
I was thinking like, you pretty much make your person you'll never see, and then you're just hands, and you just like fucking shoot ghosts, you know? And it's fucking awesome, you know? It's with the whole cast of living Ghostbusters.
Unless, of course, you're Rick, in which case you must miss.
Only if Marcus made the game.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you happen to like, allow someone not save someone, and then they die, you're allowed to ghostbust them now. You know, so like, oh, this person died. I guess I can bust their ghost now. There you go.
All right. My next one, I'll go with this one. Now, mentioned earlier, but Payday 2, I think that game's awesome. So even though I'm not a huge fan of the Wild West, I think a like Western version of that game would be really fun. Because like most of them would be kind of similar. You'd get smaller towns obviously because of how those towns were back then. But it'd be like more ancient, so you'd have like I guess less guns and it'd be different breaking out stuff. So it'd be a similar game but different. And then for at least the like town-based vaults and bank vaults and stuff like that. But also then ones on trains I think would be really fun. Because you'd have to like try and get the money into the back cart or whatever, so you could then break it off, or maybe the front part and then break off the rest, so you could make your escape and try to catch up to it on your horse and like jump on either on the roof and crawl over like in the cars and walk through. And it'd be kind of cool fighting guys on there, and there'd be different ways to move, and it'd be like more cramped quarters, so it could be slightly more tense I think because it'd be harder to get around guys.
Payday plus Red Dead?
Kind of, yeah.
That sounds cool.
That does sound cool. I will say for the people listening, I just checked my box, and then yes, they were third person, Rick. I seem to remember them being first at some point, but I think that was when you looked for the goggles.
Oh, yeah, that could be. But yeah, I think
Payday meets a Red Dead could be awesome.
I think that'd be kind of cool. The train heists, I think, would be super fun.
They would be. Can I tie Pew to the railway track and twirl Jim's mustache?
Twirl somebody else's mustache? Is that gay? I don't know.
That's the intro to the game.
Well, he'd be gymming, so he wouldn't be paying attention to the evilness, so I'd have to gloat by going, wow, and I'd have to twirl his mustache.
That would be wonderful. Alright, so Mole, your next one?
This is really ironic. The next one also is very similar to Payday.
Oh.
But yet not. I know.
What?
It's Payday meets, I don't know, The Siege, sort of. Suicide Squad. Obviously, this is like The Siege or Payday, like I mentioned, but with DC characters. Like you have to pull off heists or assassinate people. But with stuff like Deathstroke would be more like the Red Steel type with the swords and the guns. Deadshot would be your like classic sniper type. Harley Quinn would be like the sledgehammer from Siege, but would also have acrobatics to reach vantage points and stuff to scan areas. You could use like other characters like Black Manta, Killer Frost. You could use like ice and shit. Hell, you could even add Merlin from Green Arrow to use archery, or fucking add King Shark or Bane or someone if you want a big melee type person. Just because I think that'd be really fun to plan it out of like, okay, I don't know, Richter's like, he's gonna be King Shark, cool. Crispy would be fucking like Deadshot. Pew would probably be Harley, and I'll be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna be over here as Deathstroke, just going through and killing stuff with a sword, because that's really fucking hilarious. And we could go through and plan out like little heists and stuff and do it Suicide Squad way.
Nice.
And that way you also have a reason for, like in first-person shooters when you leave the mission and it says, go back to mission, and then you die. You have a really awesome reason for this now, because if you escape, you would hear Amanda Waller tell you, go back to the mission, and then she would just press the suicide button. Which I argue isn't really a suicide, it's more of a murder, but let's not get technical. But yeah, I think that game would be really fun. I don't know about you guys.
I would totally try that.
Yeah, I put that as number 3 because I think that would totally sell with the Suicide Squad film coming out, and with them
It would.
appearing in Arrow and stuff like they've been in the last couple of years. They're pretty hot right now, so I think it'd sell.
It would. All right, so Pew, your next one.
Okay. I'm gonna start this off with I have no idea what Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is about, other than I know that you are the Pokemon and not trainers. So,
Okay.
so I was imagining like Pokemon thing, kind of in the sense where you have like what they saw with or what I've seen in videos with the Pokken, except like not in like in an arena or anything. Maybe you're in like a cave or a forest. You can go around turns and like you can have like most of their are ranged attacks anyway. So like you could just go around and be like throw a fireball across them and like take out like somebody from a distance, or maybe like freaking razor leaf. Oh, slit his throat. Done. Next one. Like like.
Will this be
It's a
online?
team-based. Yeah, it's a team-based thing, so it'd be online, and maybe you could
Perfect.
verse other people. And I'm thinking, like, because maybe you're in like some kind of like a maze, like a hedge maze or a cave or some kind of like scenario where you can like look around for people and stuff, and your different abilities, like electric Pikachu. Like, what if you're in like in a building setting? Maybe he can make like doors open or something because he's
Could
like electric.
could I
Whereas like, yeah,
could I be Metapod for the sole reason of when I'm playing with a female gamer go, oh yeah, Harden.
um, you could. I imagine that would be like you can't be killed. But you can't attack either, so you can just sit there and not be
Metapod use
attacked.
sexual harassment.
Metapod use Harden. Oh yeah, I'm hard, baby.
Yeah.
It's all about the hard up in here.
I just imagine like a squad thing where each like person could have their own like little attacks, and you're pretty much going through a map and taking out people, and each one has their own abilities and stuff. And I think that'd be super fun.
Cool.
And there would be like no trainers, just Pokemon. And probably not all of them. Probably mostly from the 150, just because that's the ones I actually give a shit about. And also their abilities are easier and types are easier to understand.
Nice.
But yeah.
All right. For my next one, yeah, I don't know. Has anyone played the old Spy Hunter games?
A long time ago, I can't remember much about them.
But I was thinking something like that. You could make it a versus, but it's basically vehicle combat, but the vehicles can like turn into other vehicles. So like you could have a car and then go to the water around. Like let's say there's a river in the level. You like driving around shooting guys, and then you get to the river, and I don't know if you have to push a button or whatever, but it'll like turn into like a boat or a sub, and then you can go fight people like there. Or then you could like come out of the water and turn into like a helicopter and fly off and like do that.
They have something like that in real life.
Uh-huh.
They have normal cars, and then when Pew drives them, they eventually become cubes.
That is right. But I think it might work better as third person, but first person could work, and I think that'd be kind of like a cool game. It's like vehicle combat, but like multiple vehicles, and you could,
Why not?
you'd have kind of, yeah.
So you can swap between the two.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's like, oh look, I'm in a helicopter, and then you get close to, like there's a, like let's say a plane chasing you, like go near the ground, like turn into a tank, and they're like, oh, and they overshoot you, and then you just shoot them.
No, I turned into a boat in the middle of the city. No, and that's a giant robot picking me up to use me as a baseball bat to defeat that not Godzilla. No.
Yeah, that'd be the other one. They could turn into like a mech suit. That'd be pretty cool too.
I knew I'd be there somewhere.
Yeah.
Good old Rick.
Well, then it'd be like more traditional combat. So if you didn't want to like drive around and shoot all the time, but
that would also make sense.
I think awesome way to kill someone would be if they're like in a tank or whatever, and they're shooting, and you just go above them as the helicopter, and then turn into the boat and just drop straight down.
Would you do combiners?
No, not in the first one.
Not in the first one. Oh, you're holding out for that sequel money.
That's right. You can't put everything into one. That's how it works nowadays.
How awesome would that be if you could be like, I don't know, a helicopter, then someone else could be like a tank. But if you're on the same team, you could pick up the tank, start flying, and start firing like a fucking tank launcher at the ground and stuff from the helicopter.
That'd be pretty cool. People in first-person shooters working together? Haha, that's more fantastical than any of these games. But yeah, I thought that'd be cool.
That would
All
be
right.
awesome.
So, Mole, your next one?
My next one is also really easy, because there's literally an engine in place for this. Halo. Mega Blocks. This would basically be like for Halo games mixed with like the Lego style humor. So it'd all look like the Mega Bloks Halo figures, and it'd all be first person. But instead of shooting like lasers or bullets, you'd be shooting like little studs, as they call them in Lego, with people going. I did like a first person Lego game, but Mega Bloks, because for some reason Halo went Mega Bloks, not Lego. But that's neither here nor there. Mega Bloks aren't as good as Lego, but for the purpose of this game, I would enjoy it.
If you were Jeff, I would say you're stealing my ideas before I can see them, because I have Lego FPS written down.
If you were Jeff, I'd tell you sound more manly right now.
Okay.
You're not yelling enough.
God damn it!
It's like he's still here. It's like he's still with us.
I always like. Fun fact to people listening, I have been to Marcus Shadow's house, and he does have a computer. When you turn it on, it's just like Richter's pixel head that says, "Thank you, Marcus, you're very good at turning me on." Fact.
And for other horror stories of the Xpound, tune in later this month.
With Tales from the Golden Dungeon.
Yes. Make it happen.
Tuesday restraining order. Ding ding ding. Forward stand. How pedos play. But yeah, Halo Mega Blocks. I don't know why. I want to see it. I really do want to see Halo Mega Blocks.
That would be kind of fun.
But pew.
All right, Pew, your next one.
Alright, mine was kind of pretty much, instead of Mega Bloks, with not Halo, by the way, but pretty much, that Lego City Undercover, kind of like that, except with first person and I guess more drama in the sense of like shooting drama,
So Lego Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I do like the idea of Lego first person shoot. I don't know why. It just amuses the shit out of me.
Yeah, that was mine.
Does sound awesome.
So my next one, I don't know if anyone played an old PC game called Hexen. It was basically, early first-person shooter, probably built on the Doom engine, like they all were back then. But it was like medieval focused, and so like you did like your melee attack, I believe, was a sword, and you got like crossbows and like magic and shit, and that was really cool. So I'd like to see another one of that, this day and age. Good single-player campaign. I mean, they'd probably have versus too. But that'd be kind of cool because like some of the weapons were really cool. Like they're like fireballs. I think they're ice ones. There was ones where like you had like magic on your hands, and like when you do it, he would like send out a little like trail of fire along the ground. And I think that'd be really cool to do another one like that. So like you still a first-person shooter, but you get like magic as your attacks instead of different weapons. Yeah. You get different spells.
I may be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But assuming this has an online part, would this be like a first-person Diablo? I think like Diablo 3's classes, but first-person, because that'd be badass.
It could be, yeah. Depending on if they wanted to make it like co-op focused or not. Yeah, it could be something like that.
It's modern day. Everything needs an online mode.
I know, but they might not make co-op. They might make it just
Oh,
straight
like
up
you mean like a
versus.
verse? Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone through all the trouble to make innovation and make team deathmatch, and you're like, oh yeah, never seen that before.
That's why I always like it when nowadays with a load of them like Battlefield Hardline and ironically Battlefront, because I say ironically because it's actually made by two different people. What's funny about that though is both of them, they mentioned they only added team deathmatch on at the end, like they just tacked it on because people would expect it. They just
Yeah.
concentrate on making a good game and like fuck it, team deathmatch. I'm like, thank you. That's how you should do this. Because a lot of the other shooters, I get a sense they concentrate on team deathmatch first, then added all the cool modes, so
Yeah.
therefore they don't reach their full potential.
But so Mole, your last one?
My last one, and I think Richter will agree with this and probably say fuck yes. Who here has played Metroid Prime?
I have.
Imagine that.
I have.
Okay, imagine that with more RP elements and side quests and bounties and stuff, and it's Star Wars Boba Fett.
That would be neat.
Just to fix the mistake in the whereby them erasing the EU, this story starts with him escaping the Starlack pit, and then set on the backdrop of going between episode 6 to 7 and stuff. It's all about what Boba Fett got up to and like getting his own missions and sort of like Borderlands too, where you can like get vehicles, like but they'd be like the Star Wars like speeder bikes and stuff. Do all that stuff, but then with like collecting bounties, so it keeps feeling, you know what I mean? It's like there's an endless supply of bounties. So but mixed with like I say like the Metroid Prime elements, because like Boba Fett would be using gadgets for some stuff, and like he'd have a jetpack to go and then do stuff. I think that'd be really fucking awesome.
That would be cool. All right, Pew, your last one.
Oh, I must have miscounted because I had like two more, but like I don't. I'll be glad to like throw some of those out because they're terrible, and just go for my best ones. So one of these is Final Fantasy. Like they had like Dirge of Cerberus, and that was kind of like it was like third person shooter. But I'd like to have like that more. Apparently, like nobody liked that game or something. I liked it. I don't know, whatever. But
Sure.
it only had like 3 weapons, but it should have more weapons than that. Like it should have like at least like I don't know, 15
4.
different weapons or something. What?
You said it didn't have just 3 weapons. You just have more, like, and I said 4.
Oh, I said 15. But okay.
Yeah, then you said 15, but before you said 15, I joked and said 4.
Oh no, it has to be more than 4. But like the thing is,
5?
they had like no, they had like a million different mods for like all the I guess all the 3 weapons to make them feel like it's not just 3 weapons because you can mod them like a million different ways. Actually, probably like 30 different ways. But like still, like you just less on the modding of the weapons, more like different weapons, and maybe they can have like 1 or 2 or some mods or something like that, and fully expanded because that game was hella short, like a full actual game.
Nice. I thought you would have gone with your other idea you were talking to us about on Skype, about that cop one that's basically like Battlefield Hardline, but you have to break into it, like people of different colours, places, plant evidence, and then shoot them in front of their families.
No, that's my other game. Ha ha ha! Racism the game.
It's just called Cops.
No, it's called literally ha ha ha! Racism the game.
It's called Racist John the game.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I get this 5 out of 5 HUD, says John. I'm going to be buying this game, brother.
If you're smart like me, dude, you're gonna pre-order all the copies, brother. Linda's not getting her hands on this money.
And pre-order now, and just like 2K16, where you can play as the Terminator, you can play Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man, the guy who literally went through time to get the black guy he planted the evidence on. Fact. It's possible I haven't seen that for a while. I don't know if he actually planted weapons, but come on, it was Blade. Clearly he's the hero.
And for an extra 99 cents, we'll give you subtitles for everything Sylvester Stallone says.
Yeah. Yes.
And ironically, it would be a better game than the actual first-person shooter with Sylvester Stallone called Rambo. But I'm kidding. We could all make horrible racist ones. Case in point, over to Rick.
What? So my last one, I called it Missile Fight. I don't know, I'll probably have a better title somewhere else. But I don't know if anyone played like Metal Gear Solid 1 and some of those parts. They had parts where you would shoot the Stinger. I think it was a Stinger missile, and you could like direct it first person. And I was like, what if they had a game of that where like each side is in a base, and you just shoot missiles, and you just first person control the missile and try to get it in the other person's base to like destroy it or whatever. Like you have to damage certain parts. So like, but there's like enemy troops and like turrets, and they have defenses, so you can either try to skillfully bypass them and not get shot or whatever, or you can barrel into them and kill them so then they won't.
See, I know
Get in
that's
your
not what
way.
you're
Yes?
intending to. When you say you can stealthily sneak past them, I'm thinking it's like his cardboard box disguise, but with a missile under it. Great. Got to get past the security.
Shooting at you, you want to either go where it's not, or try to move so it's harder to hit you rather than just fly straight at whatever you.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I just love the idea of a cardboard box with disguise. Like now I'm a
The cardboard box is flying. But I like those missions were like, or in the VR missions, which I'm not allowed to play anymore. But like there were some ones where you had to like steer it through corridors and stuff, and it was annoying. But I like that idea, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to have a game where you're not steering the person, you're steering the shot, basically.
That does sound awesome. And then after each shot, move your position or something to do with what you are or something. But
Yeah.
that sounds awesome, especially with the idea of if it ends up being PvP. I love the idea of two missiles going through the air, because one player would see the other ones and deliberately go and crash into them.
Yeah.
I'd have to do it once.
Yeah. Keep one guy from shooting.
Yeah, I'd do it once just because it'd look amazing.
It would. All right.
I'm surprised no one took Duck Hunt. Like, 'cause I was seriously thinking, like, every time you miss, you accidentally hit a vice president or a dog.
So yeah, I was going to mention that before this show, I had spoke to our TV reviewer, James Phoenix, and he did suggest a person shooter for me.
Uh-huh.
Basically, you're looking through a man's cock, and you have to ejaculate the cum and steer the cum through the woman to impregnate her. And then there's a stealth section where you try to get away so they don't play child support. I don't know, I could sell. Sadly, that would sell. That would sell just because of how stupidly offensive and, well, stupid it is.
Yeah.
I'd be sad that some more of my history game.
All right, so there you have it. There's our 7 FPSs that we each like to see. So I'd like to thank everyone here for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for listening. And come back next week, and we'll have some more catch-up, some more news for you, and another topic. So see you next time. Good night.